Many people her age felt forgotten and disconnected from the world. But she chose a different path. She reached out, she stayed involved, and she remained a part of every family moment. Her presence became a source of comfort and wisdom for everyone around her. She made sure no one felt alone because she knew what loneliness felt like. Her empathy came from her own past wounds, and she turned them into compassion. She believed that pain has a purpose when it teaches the heart to be gentle. Her life is a living reminder that love grows stronger when it is shared freely. She welcomed neighbors, friends, and even strangers into her home with open arms. Her kindness built bridges that lasted decades. People trusted her because she listened without judgment and cared without condition. Now, as she reflects on the long years behind her, she smiles at how far she has come. She says that every season of life has its own beauty, even the difficult ones. And she carries a calm wisdom that comes only from a century of living. Her next lesson is about gratitude, a truth she holds close like a precious gift. She believes gratitude can turn ordinary days into moments of joy. And she is ready to share how this simple practice shaped her entire life. Her lesson in gratitude began long before she reached old age. She learned it as a young girl when her family had very little to their name. She remembers nights when the cupboards were nearly empty and the air felt heavy with worry. Yet her mother always found one small thing to appreciate, even if it was just the warmth of a shared blanket. Those early memories shaped her understanding of what truly matters. She says gratitude is not about having everything, but about seeing the value in what you already hold. As she grew older, she carried this belief with her like a quiet light. It guided her through moments that might have broken someone else. Whenever life felt tough, she looked for small blessings that others often overlooked. She appreciated the morning sun, the taste of warm tea, and the sound of her grandchildren laughing. She believed even the smallest moment of beauty could shift the whole day. Her family often saw her stand outside at sunrise, breathing in the cool air as if filling her heart with strength. She says that starting the day with gratitude changes how the rest of the day unfolds. She wrote down things she was thankful for in a simple notebook she kept near her bed. Some days the list was long and joyful. Other days it held only one word, but that was enough to keep her spirit steady. Her gratitude notebook became a treasure of memories collected over the years. She filled its pages with names of people she loved, moments that warmed her heart, and lessons she learned. This practice helped her see life with clarity, even when her vision began to fade. Her grandchildren sometimes read the notebook and found their own names written with tenderness. They felt loved in a way that words could barely describe. She taught them that gratitude grows when shared. She encouraged them to say thank you for the small things, because those small things build strong relationships. She believed that appreciation is a gift that costs nothing yet means everything. Whenever someone visited her home, she welcomed them with kindness and a soft smile. She thanked them for their presence, even if they stayed only a few minutes. Her appreciation made people feel valued and seen. She says that when you appreciate others, they shine a little brighter. Through all her years, she never let bitterness take root. She knew that bitterness grows where gratitude is absent. So she filled her heart with thankfulness until there was no room left for resentment. This approach helped her stay peaceful even in difficult seasons. She looks back now and realizes gratitude made her stronger than she ever imagined. It helped her survive loss, heartache, and moments that could have filled her with regret. Instead, she chose to remember the love she received, the lessons she learned, and the blessings she found. Her smile carries the weight of a century of grateful moments. Her heart remains light because she continued to say thank you in every chapter of her life. Now, as she shares this wisdom with her family, she reminds them that gratitude is the foundation of happiness. It is the key that unlocks joy even in the darkest times. And it prepares them for the next part of her story, a lesson about staying present in the moments that matter. Her next lesson begins with the idea of living in the moment. She believes the present is the only place where life truly happens. She often tells her family that most people spend too much time worrying about tomorrow or regretting yesterday. But she learned early that the real magic of life exists in the here and now. She practiced this by paying attention to the little things around her. The sound of birds in the morning, the soft glow of evening light, the laughter that echoed through her home. She let these moments fill her heart without rushing through them. Living in the present helped her stay calm during times of uncertainty. When challenges came, she focused on what she could do in that moment instead of fearing what might happen next. She says this simple habit saved her from unnecessary stress and heartache. Her ability to slow down made her life feel fuller and richer. She took her time when cooking, when talking, and even when walking. Every step meant something, every breath carried a sense of peace. Her family often watched her move through the house gently and purposefully. They admired how she never seemed rushed, even when others were running behind. She believed that living slowly allowed her to truly connect with the world and with people. It helped her listen better, speak with intention, and share her heart without distraction. She says too many people forget to look into the eyes of the ones they love. They forget to savor the warmth of a hug or the sweetness of a shared moment. She refused to let those moments slip away. She collected them like treasures, storing them deep in her memory. Even now, at 100 years old, she remembers the way her children laughed when they were young. She remembers the first time she held each grandchild. She remembers the way her husband looked at her during quiet evenings. These moments became the foundation of her joy. She believes the present is a gift life offers again and again. If you open your eyes and appreciate it fully, you will never feel empty. Her practice of presence also strengthened her relationships. When someone talked to her, she gave them her full attention. She listened not to reply, but to understand. This made people feel truly valued and respected. She says listening with your heart is one of the greatest acts of love. Her presence made her home feel warm, peaceful, and safe. Her children and grandchildren often came to her not just for advice but for comfort. She had a way of making every person feel important simply by being fully with them. Her gentle approach to life inspired everyone around her. Now as she grows older, she continues to live this way with the same quiet grace. She says every day is a chance to begin again, to breathe deeply, and to cherish the moment. And with this wisdom, she prepares to share the next chapter of her story, a lesson about resilience and the courage to keep moving forward. Her lesson in resilience is one of the most important parts of her story. She says life will always bring challenges that cannot be avoided. From illness to loss to unexpected setbacks, she faced them all. Yet she learned that the way you respond defines the quality of your life. She remembers days when her body ached and her energy felt gone. She remembers nights when loneliness pressed heavily on her heart. But she never let despair take over. She took one step at a time, moving forward even when the path was unclear. She says resilience is not about never falling, but about rising again each time you fall. Her courage grew from small victories achieved daily. Even the tiniest progress was celebrated quietly in her heart. She learned that patience is a companion to resilience. Rushing often leads to mistakes and discouragement. She faced each situation with calm determination. She refused to let fear dictate her actions. Her family watched her approach difficulties with steady strength. They saw how she stayed composed when everything around her seemed chaotic. She taught them that facing problems with a clear mind brings better solutions. Even when the world felt unfair, she looked for the part she could control. She never blamed herself for things beyond her power. She accepted reality and then focused on what she could do next. Her approach turned hardships into lessons and obstacles into opportunities. She says that every challenge is a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and kinder. Her resilience inspired her children to face their own struggles with confidence. They learned from her example that setbacks do not define a life, but responses do. She shared stories of times when she had very little and yet found ways to provide for her family. She tells of days when she had no energy to cook yet made meals for loved ones with a smile. These memories remind her that strength often comes quietly and steadily. She never needed to prove anything to anyone. Her courage was shown in her consistent actions in the ordinary moments. Even small acts of perseverance added up to a life of extraordinary resilience. Her secret is simple, yet powerful: keep moving forward, keep believing, and keep loving. She also emphasizes the importance of hope as a companion to resilience. Hope gives energy when the body feels weak and vision when the mind feels clouded. She never gave up on herself or on the people she loved. Her life demonstrates that true resilience is built from love, gratitude, and presence. Her story encourages everyone to keep going even when the road feels impossible. And as she shares this lesson, she prepares to reveal the next part, a secret about joy and laughter. Her next secret is about joy and laughter, the simple things that brighten life. She says laughter is medicine for the heart and soul. Even during hard times, she found reasons to smile. She remembers evenings with her children when they told stories and everyone laughed until tears came. She learned that joy can be found in the smallest moments. A funny memory, a shared joke, a silly dance, or a playful glance. Her laughter became a bridge connecting generations in her family. She taught her grandchildren to find humor even when life is serious. She says that joy is not the absence of trouble, but the ability to see light despite it. Her home often echoed with giggles and laughter that spread warmth to everyone. Even neighbors felt invited into the happiness that flowed naturally from her presence. She believes that choosing to be joyful strengthens the mind and protects the heart. Her laughter was never forced, it came naturally from a life lived fully and gratefully. She remembers days when everything went wrong and still found something to laugh about. These moments became treasures she carried quietly in her heart. She says laughter heals wounds that words cannot touch. It softens the harsh edges of life and opens the heart to love. Her family saw how a simple smile could change the mood of a room. Her own happiness became contagious as she shared it without expectation. She loved singing and telling funny stories about her past adventures. Her energy was gentle but full of light, and people were drawn to it. Even strangers felt welcome in her presence because of her warmth and laughter. She always encouraged others to take life lightly without losing respect or focus. Her joy was rooted in gratitude, presence, and love. She celebrated small victories and ordinary moments as if they were grand events. She believed that happiness multiplies when shared with others. She noticed how laughter brought people together, creating bonds that lasted a lifetime. Even in times of grief, she found moments of laughter that eased the pain. Her playful spirit never dimmed even as her body grew older. She encouraged games, storytime, and playful mischief with her grandchildren. She taught them that laughter is a powerful tool to face challenges with courage. Her life shows that joy is a choice available every day. She believes that happiness is cultivated with patience, kindness, and humor. Her secret is simple: smile, laugh, love, repeat, and never forget the beauty around you. She says these habits have carried her through 100 years. And now she prepares to share another lesson: the power of giving and generosity. Her next lesson is about giving and generosity, a truth she has lived every day. She says that the act of giving brings more joy than receiving ever could. Throughout her life, she shared what little she had with those in need. Even when resources were scarce, she found ways to help others. She helped neighbors, friends, and strangers without expecting anything in return. Her generosity was not always in material things, sometimes it was in time, attention, or a kind word. She listened to people who had no one to talk to. She offered comfort to those who were hurting. She shared knowledge with anyone willing to learn. She gave encouragement to people who felt lost or hopeless. She often visited the sick and spent hours simply being present. Her acts of giving became a ripple that touched many lives. People returned her kindness, not always in gifts, but in love and respect. She taught her grandchildren that true wealth is measured by the love you give, not the possessions you own. Her home became a place where generosity was practiced daily. She prepared meals and shared them freely. She offered her hands to help with projects without hesitation. She gave advice when asked and shared stories when needed. Her generosity was quiet and humble, never boastful or seeking praise. She says that giving connects the heart to the world in ways that nothing else can. Even a small gesture can change the direction of someone's day. She remembers helping a neighbor carry firewood or listening to a lonely friend for hours. These simple acts created bonds that lasted decades. Her life demonstrates that generosity multiplies when it is sincere. She also learned that giving strengthens resilience and joy at the same time. Helping others created purpose and meaning in her life. It gave her energy to face challenges and courage to continue. She believes that the spirit of giving grows stronger when practiced daily. Her family often followed her example, learning to give without expecting anything back. Today begins the story of a woman who reached 100 years with a smile that never fades. She sits in her small wooden chair near the window where the morning light falls gently on her face. Her hands look tired yet strong, shaped by years of work, love, and quiet battles. People often wonder how she keeps her spirit bright after a century of living. She simply lifts her eyes and gives a warm smile that feels like sunshine. Her birthday brings the whole family together, filling the house with laughter and old memories. Everyone asks her how she stayed so happy through a world full of storms and changes. She laughs softly and touches the edge of her shawl like it holds a piece of her past. Her story does not begin with wealth or comfort, but with struggle and hard lessons. She grew up in a small home where nothing came easy and every day demanded courage. The world around her shifted through war, through loss, and through moments that felt heavy on the heart. Still, she carried a spark inside her that refused to fade. Her childhood was full of simple joys that stayed with her for a lifetime. She remembers the smell of soil after rain and the sound of her mother humming. She remembers running barefoot in fields that stretched farther than her fears. Those small things built a foundation that kept her steady as she grew older. Through every hardship, she held on to hope as if it were a precious seed. She learned early that kindness could heal wounds that words could not reach. She learned that love could survive through distance and time. In her young years, she watched the world change in ways no one could predict. She saw people break under pressure and others rise stronger than before. She chose to look for the good even when it felt hidden. That choice shaped her entire life. Now at 100, she still carries the same gentle strength. Her family sees it in the way she moves, in the way she speaks, in the way she breathes calm into a room. Her secret begins in the garden she tends every morning. It is a place where she feels connected to life itself. She grows herbs, vegetables, and flowers with patient hands. Each plant feels like a friend she has known for years. She says the soil listens to her when no one else does. She says nature holds answers that people often forget to notice. Her garden is not big, yet it is filled with quiet magic. It gives her peace when the world around her feels loud. It gives her meaning when days feel long. Her heart finds rest in the soft colors and the gentle wind. Every morning she steps outside with gratitude for another day. Her life teaches that small routines can create great happiness. Her story begins with that truth, and it only grows deeper from here. Her journey to joy is a path shaped by intention, resilience, and love. And now, as she celebrates a century, she is ready to share the wisdom that kept her smiling. Her tale begins with the first lesson that guided her through every season. The lesson that happiness lives in the heart long before it appears in life. The second part of her story begins in the quiet corner of her garden, where sunlight falls softly on the leaves. She says this place has always been her shelter from the storms of life. When the world felt heavy, she came here to breathe and remember who she was. She often stood among the plants with her eyes closed, feeling the calm settle in her chest. In those moments, she understood that peace is something you build one day at a time. Her garden taught her patience as she waited for each seed to grow. She learned that nothing blooms overnight and that growth requires steady care. These small lessons became the backbone of her happy life. She tells her grandchildren that nature reflects the heart and never lies. If she felt troubled, the plants seemed slower and the air felt tight. If she felt grateful, the whole space seemed brighter and full of life. Her connection to the earth kept her grounded even when life tried to shake her. During hard years, she lost friends she loved deeply. Many left the world long before her, and each loss carved a quiet pain inside. Yet she walked through grief with grace, holding on to the memories that warmed her soul. She says that love never disappears, it simply changes shape. Every flower in her garden reminds her of someone she once cherished. She waters them gently, as if watering the memories themselves. It is her way of keeping those she loved close to her heart. Her family watches her and sees a woman who refuses to let sorrow harden her spirit. She believes that forgiveness keeps the heart light and open. She forgave people who hurt her even when they never apologized. She forgave life for the moments that felt unfair. This habit gave her freedom that many people search for but never find. She teaches that holding on to anger is like carrying a heavy stone in your pocket. Eventually, it slows you down until you can no longer move with ease. Letting go allowed her to walk into each new day with a clear mind. In her long life, she discovered that joy grows best in a heart that stays open. She also learned the power of connection. She never allowed herself to drift away from her family. She called often, she wrote letters, she visited whenever she could. She wanted the people she loved to feel her presence even from miles away. Her relationships became her greatest treasure. They gave her strength when her body weakened and courage when her mind felt tired. She often says that a single kind word can change the direction of a day. She made kindness a habit, not a choice. She offered it to strangers, neighbors, and friends without expecting anything in return. Her simple acts created ripples of warmth that touched many lives. Now at 100 years, her home feels like a sanctuary built from love, patience, and forgiveness. Every room holds stories that stretch across decades. Every corner whispers reminders of the life she lived with intention. Her happiness did not come by chance. She shaped it with her daily choices, her soft heart, and her belief in small joys. Her wisdom grows deeper as her story continues. And now she prepares to reveal another secret that carried her through a century of living. The next chapter of her story begins on a quiet afternoon when she sits by the window watching the world outside move slowly. She says that the still moments in life are just as important as the busy ones. In these moments, she learned how to truly listen to her own heart. She often reminds her family that silence is not empty but full of answers. During her long life, she faced many challenges that could have broken her spirit. There were days when her health failed her and she felt weak and fragile. There were nights when worry kept her awake and fear pressed heavily on her mind. Yet she discovered that strength does not always roar, sometimes it simply whispers, "Keep going." She leaned on this inner voice during times when everything felt uncertain. This quiet Her community recognized her as a source of light and support. She says that the heart expands when it is open to others. Even small children in her family learned early that generosity feels better than selfishness. She believes that a generous life is a happy life. Her story encourages everyone to reach beyond themselves and share what they can. Her wisdom shows that the smallest acts of kindness echo across lifetimes. Now, as she reflects on 100 years, she knows the love she gave is the legacy she leaves behind. She smiles knowing that giving has been her most powerful secret. And she prepares to share her next lesson, the importance of forgiveness and letting go. Her next lesson is about forgiveness and letting go, a habit that kept her heart light. She says holding on to anger only weighs the soul down. Throughout her life, she encountered people who hurt her deeply. Sometimes the wounds were small and sometimes they cut to the bone. Yet she learned that holding grudges only prolongs pain. She chose to forgive not because people always deserved it, but because she deserved peace. Forgiveness gave her freedom and allowed joy to grow in her heart. She often tells her family that resentment is like carrying a heavy stone. It slows you down and clouds the mind. She let go of bitterness even when the memories were sharp. Her practice of forgiveness created space for love and happiness to flourish. She forgave mistakes large and small from friends, family, and even strangers. She says forgiveness is a gift you give yourself first. By releasing grudges, she stayed open to new experiences and people. Her heart remained tender instead of hard and cold. She teaches that everyone is capable of making mistakes and everyone deserves compassion. She says that forgiveness does not mean forgetting, it means choosing peace over anger. Her family saw how this habit shaped her calm and gentle spirit. Even during disagreements, she would take a deep breath and respond with understanding. She explains that forgiveness is a daily choice that strengthens with practice. It is not always easy, but it is always worth it. She found that letting go brought clarity and a sense of freedom. Her story shows that happiness cannot grow in soil filled with resentment. She taught her grandchildren to apologize when wrong and to forgive when hurt. Her actions were louder than words as she lived forgiveness every day. She let go of past failures and regrets and focused on the present moment. She says that letting go is a form of courage that most people underestimate. It takes strength to release the past and trust the future. She believes that forgiving yourself is just as important as forgiving others. Her life demonstrates that peace begins when the heart stops holding grudges. Even after losses, betrayals, and disappointments, she continued to choose love. Her forgiveness created a chain reaction of kindness and understanding in her family. It allowed relationships to heal and grow stronger over time. Her story teaches that the mind and heart are lighter when freed from anger. She smiles knowing that this practice helped her live 100 years with joy. She reminds everyone that forgiveness is not weakness, it is the strongest choice a person can make. And with this wisdom she prepares to share the final lessons about love, purpose, and living fully. Her next lesson is about love, purpose, and living fully, a truth she holds close to her heart. She says love is the center of everything that matters in life. Her love for her family, friends, and community guided every decision she made. She nurtured it daily through small actions and constant attention. She says love is patient, gentle, and persistent. It grows stronger when shared. Her purpose was shaped by this love and the desire to make life better for others. Even simple acts like cooking a meal, listening carefully, or offering help were expressions of love. She believes living with purpose gives meaning to every moment. Her life was never about wealth, fame, or recognition. It was about impact and connection. She devoted herself to the people and things that truly mattered. Her family saw her dedication in the way she cared for them and her neighbors. She also pursued interests that brought her joy and kept her mind active. She explored books, stories, music, and hobbies with enthusiasm. Her curiosity and love for learning gave her life richness and depth. She says that purpose can be found in everyday tasks if approached with intention. She believes that every person has something unique to contribute. She encouraged her grandchildren to find their own purpose and follow it with passion. She says living fully means embracing both challenges and pleasures equally. She did not shy away from responsibility, nor did she miss opportunities for joy. Her life demonstrates balance between giving and receiving, learning and teaching. She reminds everyone that aging does not mean slowing down in spirit. Her heart remained young because she kept loving fully and pursuing what mattered. She also emphasized the importance of gratitude, reflection, and mindful living. Her routine of appreciating small joys kept her connected to life even in quiet days. She says life is a gift to be unwrapped with care and awareness. Her story shows that living fully requires attention to both heart and mind. She encouraged others to take chances and embrace new experiences without fear. Even at 100, she found ways to try new things and learn new skills. She inspired people by showing that age is not a limitation but a canvas. Her purpose created ripples of influence that touched multiple generations. She taught that happiness grows when you live with intention, love, and curiosity. Her final message is that life is best lived by caring for others, loving yourself, and appreciating every moment. She smiles knowing that her lessons have shaped the lives of those around her. Her story becomes a guide for anyone seeking joy, peace, and meaning. She hopes everyone remembers that it is never too late to start living fully. And with this lesson, she approaches the last part of her story, reflection on a century of life. The final part of her story is a reflection on a century of life and all the lessons she learned. She looks back at 100 years filled with challenges, triumphs, love, and loss. She remembers every joy, every sorrow, and every ordinary day that became extraordinary. Her mind holds memories of childhood, laughter, and quiet moments in the garden. She recalls lessons learned from mistakes and successes alike. She reflects on the people who shaped her life and the moments that shaped her soul. She says that living a long life is not about avoiding pain but embracing it and learning from it. Her heart carries gratitude for every experience that taught her something valuable. She feels proud not of wealth or recognition but of the love she gave and received. Her relationships were her greatest treasures and her deepest source of happiness. She sees the continuity of life in her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. She marvels at the beauty of watching generations grow and carry forward her lessons. She has learned that joy multiplies when shared and sorrow diminishes when faced together. She says life is a series of choices and every choice matters. She emphasizes the importance of gratitude in every season of life. She knows that staying present has allowed her to appreciate every simple blessing. Her laughter has carried through decades, creating warmth and light wherever she went. She forgave freely and held no grudges, keeping her heart open and soft. She gave generously, knowing that the act of giving returns in invisible ways. She nurtured curiosity and continued to learn with an open mind. She stayed resilient by facing challenges calmly and choosing courage over fear. Her purpose was rooted in love, connection, and meaningful action. She says happiness comes from within, from the way you view the world and the people around you. She has learned that living fully means embracing life as it comes with all its ups and downs. She reminds everyone that every day is a gift and can be filled with love and meaning. She smiles at the thought of all the small moments that have added up to a beautiful life. Her story shows that age is not a limit but a testimony to endurance and wisdom. She encourages others to keep learning, loving, and giving at every stage of life. She believes that each person has the power to shape their happiness through choices. She says that kindness and compassion are the legacies worth leaving. She advises to treasure relationships because they are the heart of every joyful life. She reflects on the importance of forgiveness and letting go of anger. She sees how resilience has carried her through hardships and strengthened her spirit. Her joy has been cultivated through curiosity, gratitude, and presence. She says love is the thread that ties every lesson together. She has learned that living fully is a practice, not a destination. She appreciates every sunrise, every breeze, and every heartbeat. Her life has been a testament to courage, patience, and quiet strength. She hopes her story inspires others to seek happiness within themselves. She wants people to remember that even in difficulty, there is beauty and meaning. She smiles at the thought of sharing her lessons and seeing them continue through her family. Her story ends not with an ending, but with a celebration of life itself. She has lived 100 years with a heart full of love and a mind full of wisdom. She feels content knowing her journey has been meaningful and her spirit remains strong. Her message is clear: happiness is a choice, love is a power, and life is a gift. She hopes that everyone who hears her story will carry her lessons into their own life. She closes her eyes and breathes deeply, thankful for the century she has been given. And with that, she continues smiling, embracing life with the same sparkle she had as a child.